We are talking about revenue challenges. Today, this morning, we had a meeting with the finance minister, and the numbers are looking good. Tomorrow, you hear good news. So, we have a disciplined finance minister and a disciplined government. This is something we need to support, because by the end of the day, the depreciation of the currency, all of us are benefiting. The inflation, all of us are benefiting. I thought one was going to tell me maybe the transmission mechanism is delaying, so many people are not getting the feeling of it. That one I will agree with you. So this report, keep it and let's work with it. Compare this to that of 2024-23. It tells you that the reset agenda is on course. So please, let's support this administration, because by the end of the day, all of us are going to benefit. If you go to the market, it's on course. Resetting agenda is on course.
Thank you. Honorable Champo, conclude. We have so many things to do.
Mr. Speaker, if you go to the market and prices of goods and services are low, they will not ask you, are you MPP or NDC? The way you enjoy life under this administration as compared to the end of 2024. So, Mr. Speaker, the report speaks for itself, and there are positive news in this report.
Thank you.
I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Honorable members, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is, all those in favor that motion listed 33 be adopted, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Motion listed 33 is carried. Yes, I guess we take 34 as well.
Yes.
Yes. Honorable Afo.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this Honorable House adopt the report of the Committee on Economy and Development on the conduct of monetary policy, macroeconomic review, and banking sector development. Mr. Speaker, I would therefore urge the Hansas Department once again to capture this report as having been fully read by my good self by taking the introduction and conclude. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the Bank of Ghana Amendment Act 2016, Act 918, Section 53A requires the Bank of Ghana to present half-year reports to Parliament on the conduct of activities in the exercise of its mandate at the end of February and January each year. Mr. Speaker, the report on the conduct of monetary policy, macroeconomic review, and banking sector development was laid in Parliament on Friday, 24th October 2025 by the Majority Leader, Honorable Mahama Yariga. The report was subsequently referred by the Right Honorable Speaker to the Committee on Economy and Development for consideration and report. Mr. Speaker, in concluding, Mr. Speaker, the committee has examined the report on the conduct of the monetary policy, macroeconomic review, and the banking sector development for the period January to December 2025, and has observed that the Bank of Ghana generally performed well in relation to significant improvement in key macroeconomic indicators, particularly the decline in inflation, the stabilization and appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi.
Chairman, can you move to conclusion, please?
Mr. Speaker, the committee commends the Bank of Ghana for fulfilling this obligation under the Act 53A of Bank of Ghana Amendment Act 2016, Act 918, and accordingly urges the House to adopt this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Member for Ofuansia Iribi.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity.
Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And since I will not be contributing later, I just want to make my submissions as I second. Mr. Speaker, first, it's important that we correct some misleading statements that have been made. The Deputy Chief Whip on the other side suggests that debt to GDP ratio reached 100% in years gone by. Mr. Speaker, in 2022, when it was at its peak, it was 85.7%. In 2023, it was 76.4%. In 2024, it was 70.5%. It never got to 100%. This is a house of records, and we should not be misleading the Ghanaian public or putting things in history that are inaccurate. If he has any contrary specific facts, he should state them here. But, Mr. Speaker, let me specifically second this motion to adopt the report of your committee on the Bank of Ghana's conduct of monetary policy. Mr. Speaker, the reason for which it is the Bank of Ghana that handles monetary policy is that they issue currency, and they are responsible for preserving the value of the currency. Additionally, price stability is the first of the 6 economic policy objectives that any government wants to embark upon. Speaker, it's not enough to look at a reduction of inflation from 23% to 5% now and say that that justifies the 16 billion Ghana cedi loss of the Bank of Ghana on sterilization. It's not enough. You will recall that in 2025, right here in this chamber, we argued that the method that the Bank of Ghana was using in its attempt to ace the inflation figures were dangerous. Those methods were dangerous, i.e., the excessive sterilization. At that time, it was denied. When the Bank of Ghana published their figures at the end of the year, they themselves admitted that for the first time in Ghana's history, they sterilized over 93 billion Ghana cedis from the market. Sterilization essentially means that the Bank of Ghana has mopped up the money from the system so that people don't have liquidity to execute demand. That's why today the traders are telling you in town that, yes, you may say inflation has come down, but their goods are on the shelf and people don't have money to buy. Mr. Speaker, that sterilization cost us 16 billion Ghana cedis. And the majority side has been trying to convince Ghanaians that it's the cost of stability. It is not the cost of stability. It's the cost of bad policy choices. And I'll explain to you, Mr. Speaker. In 2022, inflation was 54% as a result of high crude oil prices. Remember that Brent crude was at $128 per barrel at the time. And so inflation went up to 54%. The MPP government reduced inflation from 54% to 23% before it left office. That was a 31% drop in inflation. We didn't spend 16 billion Ghana cedis to drop inflation by 31 points. You bring inflation down from 23 to 5, which is only 18, and you lose 16 billion. And you say that is the cost of stability. What sort of mathematics is this? What sort of economic policy is this? And so this 16 billion Ghana cedis, which they have lost, is because of poor policy choices. They paid for things they didn't need to pay for. And that is why we've lost that money. And by the way, after we started complaining, now the governor says that he's not going to use this strategy again. So all that we've been saying is right, Mr. Speaker. My second point, exchange rates. This government likes to convince itself that the cedi started appreciating when they came to office. I borrowed the words of the Chief Whip. We are in a community of reading men. And so we read. Read the 2024 Bank of Ghana report, which was published in 2025 under the signature of Governor Siama. Governor Siama says that the appreciation started in Q4 2024. It didn't start on your watch. Mr. Speaker, it is because the domestic gold purchase program yielded forex, which forex is being used for intervention. It is only this government that says that it has a new name for intervention called intermediation. Remember, Mr. Speaker, when we said that they were intermediating or intervening and they said intermediation, they denied initially, and at the end of the year, we found out that it has been 10 billion Ghana cedis. That's what the Bank of Ghana was coming to tell the press and the whole country, that they said they didn't want him to speak before them. But that was as of December last year. Mr. Speaker, between January and now, how much intervention has gone on? We're expecting the Minister of Finance to tell us when he comes here tomorrow. But, Mr. Speaker, we, according to the IMF, are relying on high gold prices and high gold volumes. What will happen when gold prices go back from this 5-year high where it is at now? we are living on borrowed time, Mr. Speaker. Very finally, if you look at the series of economic and financial data published by the Bank of Ghana a few days ago, before the Monetary Policy Committee meetings, $1.2 billion of our reserves is gone. $1.2 billion of our reserves is gone. Our reserves have reduced by $1.2 billion. What have you used it for? Because you have told us that you are not doing intervention and that it is proceeds from the forex market that you are pumping. So where has the $1.2 billion gone? Mr. Speaker, we're expecting that when the finance minister shows up tomorrow, he will show us where this $1.2 billion is gone. Because we cannot continue with this exercise of continuously intervening and calling it intermediation and reducing the reserves of this republic, while at the back end, we are just buying gold whose sources are questionable for this enterprise. So, Mr. Speaker, going forward, we have two recommendations. Tight monetary policy does not mean excessive sterilization. We are happy that now the governor is listening and says he will no longer do it. Mr. Speaker, secondly, that structure where they were buying gold high and selling low to get forex to pump onto the market, we are happy that the governor has announced yesterday that he will no longer be funding the gold board. That is an admission that everything we have been saying here in this chamber is true. And now he is turning away from that action. If he follows these recommendations, it will bode well for him, for the Bank of Ghana, and for the Ghanaian economy. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support the motion.
Yes, honorable members, the motion listed 34 has been moved by the chairman and graciously seconded by the ranking. It is now the property of the House for consideration. Yes, member for Edra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to the report on the conduct of monetary policy, macroeconomic review, and banking sector development. Mr. Speaker, the mandate of the Bank of Ghana has been clear from day one. And the mandate, Mr. Speaker, as I read, is that the primary objective of Bank of Ghana is to pursue sound monetary policies aimed at price stability and to create an enabling environment for sustainable economic growth. Mr. Speaker, against the backdrop of the doom by my colleagues, we ask, why were we in the worst situation economically as of December 2024? And we want to remind our colleagues on the other side that the 2024 elections was benched mostly on the bad economic situation we were in. Mr. Speaker, the report demonstrates a continued improvement in Ghana's macroeconomic fundamentals through, as I mentioned, sound fiscal and monetary policy consideration. Mr. Speaker, it's been accepted and confirmed that inflation decreased from 23.8 to 3.3% as at the beginning of this year. Mr. Speaker, the relative stability of the Ghana cedi also has restored confidence through businesses, investors, and the general public. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana was specific that all these policies was meant at, Mr. Speaker, stabilizing and appreciating the Ghana cedi, as I've mentioned. And that is a big deal because in Ghana, everything, Mr. Speaker, is benched on the forex rate. And when the Ghana cedi struggles against the US dollar, Mr. Speaker, it brings shiverings in the businesses of Ghanaians, be it drivers, farmers, and whatsoever it is. Mr. Speaker, the steady buildup of Ghana's gross international reserve, Mr. Speaker, has strengthened Ghana's external position and resilience against external shocks. And I must commend the Bank of Ghana. In our ambition, Mr. Speaker, even with the GANRA program, to move the reserve of this country to 15 months plus. Mr. Speaker, that is an ambitious motive, which, Mr. Speaker, is to protect this country against the international shocks We know our over-reliance on the price of crude, for example. And Mr. Speaker, we must commend Gold Board with their support in all their doings, Mr. Speaker, and the reflection, the impact it is having on the stability of the Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, and also the aim of this government to add value to our resources, Mr. Speaker, because we've come to appreciate that exporting our minerals in their raw forms, Mr. Speaker, indicates our export of jobs and opportunities.
Honourable member, I will see the seat to the right, Honourable Speaker. So you may continue.
Mr. Speaker, we must note, and this is instructive to note, Mr. Speaker, that a stable macroeconomic environment is essential for attracting investment, for promoting industrialization and creating sustainable employment. And so, Mr. Speaker, another point worth notice is the access to credit for productive sectors. Mr. Speaker, we all know the role of the agric sector when it comes to the economy of this country. But the committee observed that, Mr. Speaker, allocations made to the agriculture sector is very much on the minimum. And to address this bottleneck, Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana intends to promote long-term financing through the capital market and encourage banks to list stock exchange in order to mobilize long-term credit to farmers. Mr. Speaker, if the farming sector, the agriculture sector of this country is solid, Mr. Speaker, we can be assured that the economic situation will improve. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I wish to call on both sides to adopt this report in the fullest of spirit and with all the blessings it deserves. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, honourable members, before I continue, I don't know whether you've given yourself some time allocation or just free, open. Sorry?
Mr. Speaker, the arrangement was he will be the last to speak on this motion, and then we can put the question.
So how many have spoken on each side of the House?
Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the committee, after that, then the ranking, and then one from that side, and then one from this side, and then that's it.
Okay. All right. Please.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have before us today a report of the Committee on Economy and Development on the conduct of monetary policy and macroeconomic review for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, the report on page 4 has made certain observations, and that first observation that I will comment on is the stabilization and appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the report has drawn our attention to the fact, and of course, it's right, especially when you review the economic literature from the Bank of Ghana, you will realize that the cedi had appreciated for the year under review by some 40 percentage points. That is a 40% appreciation of the Ghanaian cedi on paper is good, Mr. Speaker, and it is ideal, especially so when you are having a currency that is running away from the handles by the economic managers. But, Mr. Speaker, there is the cause of this particular appreciation of the cedi that we have not, often we don't discuss in this chamber, often because of the politics associated with the number. Mr. Speaker, a 40% appreciation of our currency is good on the books. But when you go to the market, you realize that the food glut we are having is because of this 40% increase in appreciation. If you go to Kantomoto and there's pressure, and they are saying that the town is hot, it is because of this 40% increase in the appreciation of a cedi. Mr. Speaker, why do we consider this 40% appreciation of a cedi as something not good in terms of economic management? Mr. Speaker, it is not good because when you want to arrest the depreciation of your cedi, you must have a way of doing it gradually, in a manner that the transmission, in terms of the effect to the Ghanaian citizen, is minimal. But you cannot abruptly. For instance, it's like driving a car, Mr. Speaker. When you are driving a manual car, before you can come to a stop, the car in his 5th gear must be brought to a 2nd gear, to a 3rd gear, to the 1st, 2nd gear, before you get to the 1st gear, before it can stop. Mr. Speaker, when you abruptly bring a car from the 5th gear to the 1st gear, if you don't take time, the car will ground. And that is what we are experiencing. Mr. Speaker, they make so much noise about the 40% appreciation of the currency.
Please, honorable members, let's listen to him. I don't think what he said is wrong. That if you are driving at high speed and you want to bring the vehicle to stop, you have to reduce the distance. You don't go sudden. I mean, it will topple the car. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that statement. It's a fair comment. So please, you go on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for your wisdom. Mr. Speaker, that is the problem with that particular strategy. And on the books, it is good. But when you see the market women complaining, it is basically because of that strategy. Mr. Speaker, the cause of that particular strategy is also the revenue non-performance we are having at the port. If you artificially prop up your currency and you are getting money in dollars, if you change it to Ghanaian cedi, in exchange term, it's going to be lower. So one of the reasons why we are having non-performance of our revenue is because of the artificial propping up of the cedi. So these are the cause of the appreciation of the currency that we are experiencing. And that story has to be told, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the next other point that I want to touch on is the reserve position. Mr. Speaker, they are saying that our reserves have increased as at October 2025, but they are failing to report that our reserve has reduced as of now. You see, we have 5.7 months of import cover. As at the time they were reporting, but today we have 5 months of import cover. And that has to be reflected in your report because you cannot choose and pick. You cannot choose and pick. They are saying they are not considering, but let me refer them to the same report. You are not considering that, but in inflation, you have reported as at early 2026. So you cannot tell me that you are not considering that by your report. You are reporting as at early 2026. So your point is not valid. You can sit down once I continue my point. Mr. Speaker, there is also the issue. There's also the issue of...
Honorable member, on that point, what was the position as at early 2026?
Speaker, the report is saying that it was noted that inflation...
I've read the report. I've read the report. You are talking about them not reflecting the reserve position as at now. And I wanted to know, as at early 2026, what was the reserve position?
Mr. Speaker, that's why I said that it is now 5 months of import cover, not 5.7 months of import cover.
I said as at early 2026. What was the position?
Mr. Speaker, the position for the reserve, which as at early 2026 is 5 months of import cover, not 5.7 months of import cover. That's the point I made, Mr. Speaker.
No, you didn't. You didn't make it clear that way.
Oh, okay, so, Mr. Speaker, that is the point. Exactly. That's the point I'm making now.
Because you said as at now, but this now is not early 2026. That's why I wanted you to give the early 2026.
I'm guiding, Mr. Speaker. So the point has to be made that if you are reporting for a period 2025, let's stick to the period 2025. You don't pick for a particular report or for a particular session, you report as at early 2026, and in another time you stop at 2025, and when you are asked, you say you are dealing with 2025. That's the point I was making, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last point I would like to note is the issue of Bank of Ghana decision to, diversify or our goals holding. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Mr. Speaker,
you see, that is why I wanted to know whether there were time allocations. And the impression, you didn't tell me.
Mr. Speaker, you are right. We didn't mention the time, but they've been timed 5 minutes. And Mr. Speaker, because of the guidance that you were giving him, if we could add him an extra 1 minute to conclude.
What is your position? Please, majority bench, they've requested for 1 additional minute.
Mr. Speaker, he's done. He's made his point.
Honorable Leader, if he has been done, there will be no request.
Mr. Speaker,
once there's a request, it meant
Mr. Speaker,
not done.
You can give him 1 minute.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate that. Mr. Speaker, the last point I just want to talk to on the report is that the report says that we are having significant increase in gold reserve due to the domestic gold purchase program. And they are saying that this particular program has contributed to strengthening Ghana's international position and reducing dependency on foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, this is a policy they have commended. But the next paragraph has highlighted that the Bank of Ghana liquidated about 22.2 tons of our gold reserves. On one breath, you are telling us that it is contributing to the stability of our economy. And on another breath, you are selling the gold that has been accumulated under the previous government. I don't think it is something right, and we have actually litigated that already. But we must put it on record that the decision by the Bank of Ghana to sell our gold reserves of about 22.2 tons was a bad policy decision, and the government on hand side, following the introduction of the program for the gold reserve, accumulation of reserve in the country, would
Yes, we are done for the day. So we put the question. Honorable members, those in favor of the adoption of motion number 34 on the order paper, say aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion number 34 on the order paper is hereby adopted. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we have some outstanding motions to be taken, so we'll move to page 10 of today's order paper and take motion 25, 26, and then come to page 16 and take 54.
Honorable members, before I do that, I've been told that one notice to us was not read to the House. It's dated 17th July 2026 from the President, and it deals with absence from Ghana. I'll just read it for the Hansard. It says, Right Honorable Speaker, absence from Ghana. In accordance with Article 59 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I write to formally notify you of my intention to travel outside the country tomorrow, 18th July 2026, to Freetown, Sierra Leone, to attend the ECOWAS Media Summit, scheduled to be held on Sunday, 19th July 2026. I shall return same day. In my absence, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, shall perform my functions in accordance with Article 60, Clause 8 of the Constitution. Signed, John Dramani Mahama. Yes, so honorable members, we'll take item 25 on the order paper. Chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to move the motion, procedural motion, item 25 on the order paper, page 10. I so moved.
Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of motion number 25 on the order paper, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Motion number 25 on the order paper is hereby adopted. The other number you mentioned is 26. Motion number 26 to be moved by the chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise to move motion item 26 on order paper 11, that this Honorable House adopts the report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by Audit Committee of the Ghana Grid Company Limited for the years 2024 and 2025. Mr. Speaker, with that, I present your committee's report and request that the Hansa Department will capture the entirety of the report as I read only in the conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the committee is satisfied that an annual statement by the Audit Committee of Gridco, Mr. Speaker, Gridco, for 2024 and 2025 have been prepared and presented to Parliament in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act 2016 at 921 and the Audit Committee Guidelines 2023. The committee, in view of the foregoing observations, recommends to the House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of Ghana Grid Company Limited for the years 2024 and 2025. I so submitted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, any seconder? Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In seconding the motion, Mr. Speaker, at the committee level, when we met Gridco, we find out that in the audit report, about 84% of their recommendations has been done, which, Mr. Speaker, aside that, the major issue was on transmission system for this country. According to them, the management were able to inform us that PURC determined technical losses threshold they have met. But, Mr. Speaker, we were not satisfied with that. I said, why can't we try and be on the international system whereby we know that this is the best practice in the international level? Why should we be only the PURC system on the transmission losses system? So, Mr. Speaker, that has become one of the major issue in the electricity tariff system, whereby due to losses, we could always, every quarter, you could see that ECG is increasing electricity tariffs. These are one of the major costs. So I said, why don't we be at the international best practice system than the PURC one, the threshold that they gave them. So aside that, Mr. Speaker, there was no any other issue on the Gridco report. So I recommend for this House to adopt the Gridco.
What did they tell you was the cause of the losses?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, it's about increasing their cables, buying the best cables, because now we have even up to 740 transmission cables.
No, you are not answering my question. What is the causes of the losses?
It's part of the cables they use to transmit power, and they are step-down generators. So they need to get the modern ones. These are some of the causes when it comes to Gridco. But when it comes to ECG, there are a lot of factors that causes the losses.
No, we are dealing with Gridco.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes is the cable, the transmission cable.
So we are having transmission losses because they are using inferior,
obsolete cables. Yes.
Okay.
And then the step-down transformers also, they need to modernize them with the cables. These are some of the things.
Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, let me assist my ranking member. When you are transmitting current, you need cables that will carry the current to its final destination where it will be boosted by transformer. Now, currently we have 16 kVA on the eastern part of our corridor, but we need over 330 kVA that will carry the current to a destination for a transformer either to reduce it or to boost it up. And so the transmission losses came as a result of the cables that have been there for years that are not the cables that are supposed to be used. That's exactly what they told us. And they needed over 330 million USD to change some of this cable. In addition to that, we have obsolete transformers that are either to boost the current or to reduce the current. Most transformers are outdated, and we needed to replace all those transformers. And so we are having, losses as a result of that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So what they need is capital injection.
Exactly so, Mr. Speaker.
So there are no commercial losses. These are fiscal losses.
On Grisco, no. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Don't be surprised. I did my studies in the privatization of public utilities. So I know a lot about these matters. That's why I'm asking you the questions. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, yes, we have technical losses and we have commercial losses.
Yes.
I think my ranking was talking about technical losses. Commercial losses has to do with, economy, using like ECG that has commercial losses, where people are stealing, power, they are not paying for power. Those are the commercial. Technical losses has to do with the technical issues. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I need more clarification from the chairman. Mr. Speaker, because GRICO, if you say they don't have commercial losses, GRICO operates mainly part of the northern region, but there's always the power theft that you have attributed to ECG as part of their losses. So zero commercial losses on GRICO.
Thank
Yes.
you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, just as I explained, we have the technical losses and commercial losses. Now, commercial losses has to do with either theft or, the current not reaching, even though it's being distributed from the transforming or the distributor, the consumer uses it and not pay for it. That's a commercial loss. Now, when you go to the northern part, we had NETCO as a distributor. In our part, we have ECG as a distributor. And then when you go to the free zone enclave, we have the this power enclave as the distributor. So we have three distributors that sells power to us. Now, in the northern part, it is the commercial lot. It goes to the NETCO, not to GRICO. GRICO only transmit. That's why we are saying technical losses. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I'm happy that ECG and NETCO are paying up to date. They are paying GRICO up to date. So there are no losses there. So it's only technical losses. That's what you are telling us, which I don't think is the right situation. But yes,
Mr. Speaker, one of the problems I know that had always existed was that ECG was owing GRICO. ECG used to owe GRICO a lot. Unless you are telling me that 2024 and 25 in this report, ECG is up to date. Because it is true that it is ECG that serves you and me, and then GRICO is the one that transmits it from the producers like Akusombo and the thermal energy. Then they will transmit the whole system. But I do know that in those days, ECG used to owe them a lot. They were not able to pay. So unless they are telling us that ECG now is up to date, and so they don't have problems with that. But Mr. Speaker, I want to add to what the committee has observed, that in the eastern part of the country, there is a huge problem. Because if you take from Yendi, the substation is in Yendi, the next substation is in fact, it's even past Karachi. So we have very long transmission lines. And it has become inefficient, totally inefficient. And because of that, the people in that area are suffering when it comes to power generation, because they don't get good quality power. They are really, really suffering. The last time I spoke to the minister, he said they needed around $330 million to $360 million to be able to fix that thing. Because they were looking at putting a transmission station either in Pandai, Bimbila, or Karachi, so that they can short circuit the transmission line. But Mr. Speaker, it's very long, and they lose a lot of power. And the cables that they are using are I won't use the word outdated, but they are not up to standard. And so when they produce power, and they expect ECG to be able to get enough power to serve the people, they have problems. And it is a lot. So I will urge that we support them if there is a way out. Because in any case, they are saying that they don't lose. So they get their money back. So it's very easy. So let's do scrutinization. Let's scrutinize the money that they get. Use that money to invest and get it. Because you don't lose. They are not ECG that is losing economic because people don't want to pay. They are not NETCO that is losing because people want to pay. If NETCO is not able to collect their rates or their tariffs, but still managing to pay Greco, then Greco shouldn't have a problem investing. Greco should not have a problem investing at all, because we are saying that both ECG and NETCO are paying them whatever they are supposed to pay them, so they should not have a problem investing. So they should invest properly, invest in the equipment, invest in the transmission lines, especially the transformers, the huge transformers that they need. Mr. Speaker, the last time those lines passed, I think it was 1992, 93, or 91. That was the last time that they took those lines, especially in the eastern part of the country. And Mr. Speaker, if you are talking of almost 30, 40 years ago, then your guess is as good as mine that the people in the area will not be able to get good power. And I think that we'll ask Greco to do the needful and see how they can invest, because the report from the chairman says that they are not having any economic losses. They are only having transmission losses. But it is the transmission losses are occurring because they have old lines and they are faulty. That's why they are having that problem, nothing more, nothing less. So if they invest in good, new, and modern, up-to-date lines, then they are not going to have any losses at all. So I will say that I really support what the chairman has said, that they should find a way of investing in that part of the country, and then they've invested a lot within the central part and some part of the western and then the Accra zone. But the eastern part of Ghana is, Mr. Speaker, is really terrible. It's extremely terrible. It's not good at all. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, just to correct that, between 2022 to 2024, the cash waterfall mechanism was not effective. It started from 2025, where they are able to collect some revenue from the cash waterfall mechanism. And we all heard that as at 2025, monthly, ECG was able to collect about 1.7 billion, and it was able to share according to the formula. And so when it comes to distribution of the revenue to the various institutions that comes under the cash waterfall, we do not have problem. But having said that, ECG still owes between, where we call the legacy debt. So they still owe. So if we are able to capitalize or recapitalize Gridco, then they'll be able to change those equipments and the lines. You rightly mentioned that the distance between one transmission station or transformer to another transformer is quite a distance. And when we were kids, we used to hear that electricity don't get leg. It be cable wire where they carry them. So for the cable wire to carry from one point to another point, you need a cable that can sustain the current to the other point. Now, if you have a smaller cable that are not able to sustain it, then you get losses. That's why we call transmission or technical losses. So by the time it gets to Bimbila, from wherever it is, the current reduces. So we are asking for recapitalization to be able to buy bigger cables from the 16 kV to over 330 kV, so that they will be able to carry it and sustain it to get to Bimbila. That's what we are asking for. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What is the effect of currency depreciation on the issue of commercial losses?
Mr. Speaker, the currency depreciation at the time that we you all know that the dollar was very high. The rate was higher, but so when there's a change of government and the stabilization of the CD and the cedi appreciate, it affected ECG. That's what happened. That's where we have the currency losses or the losses that occur as a result of foreign currency. Thank you.
I think you have to consider that issue. Actually, I was talking about currency fluctuation, not depreciation, fluctuation. Yes, what is your response?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the currency issues, it's something that is still going on because the institutions will give their, the institutions will give their price to buy equipment. But at Bank of Ghana rate will be a different issue. So it's causing the entities very well. This is something they complain to us, that if we can do something about that, because it's something that is still persistent. It's not that it's about maybe the dollar is up in the previous government or not. Even now, it's happening. The rate they will give is different from Bank of Ghana rate. So this is what is causing a lot in the currency fluctuations for them to buy equipment outside the country. This is one issue they raise.
Well, can we get our committee Ways and Means to sit with your committee to go through these things and see how we can support GRIDCO to get, as we are talking about capital injection, there are ways and means that we can, as a house, support the executive arm to raise that capital, because without energy, you can't industrialize, you can't develop. It's a basic thing that you have to get right. Once our energy sector is still wobbling, there's no way that we can talk about developing as a nation. And you know the cost we're having. We've been middle income at the lower level for many years. And we're not seeing progress in that. So this is one of the sectors that we might pay serious attention on. That's why I'm asking the questions. Anyway, so could we go on? I thought we've done enough for me to put the question. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. In reviewing the report, we realized there are two major issues they've talked about: transmission efficiency and debt collection. Mr. Speaker, I would like to dwell on the debt collection aspect. I know the chairman did speak about the cash flow mechanism, cash waterfall mechanism, which has helped to increase the debt payment from 20% to about 60%. But Mr. Speaker, one thing we have to dwell on, if ECG and NEDCO is made to pay its debt, is going to help. But one thing we also did not talk about is the fact that we have companies like Valco and some mining companies that are also will have to pay their debt that we are not focusing on. Because if you can improve on the efficiency of your transmission, in Ghana we have about 70 substations that we are using. We are advocating that we should add more substations and we should improve on the aging equipment, especially in the middle corridor of our country. The equipment are aging now. But Mr. Speaker, we will have to, without funds, even if you have government-backed...
But Honourable Member, the companies you are talking about, do they take direct supply from GRIDCO? The VRA and the mining companies, do they get direct supply from GRIDCO?
Mr. Speaker, if they are to pay ECG and NEDCO, then of course they can, ECG can in turn pay. No.
Please. Don't take me to ECG. This one we are discussing has nothing to do with ECG. We are talking about GRIDCO. And that's what I'm talking to you about, because you are talking about them supplying VRA and mining companies. But GRIDCO doesn't supply VRA and mining companies. It's ECG.
Mr. Speaker, the reason why I'm talking about, if ECG is able to collect its debt, then of course they will also be able to pay back through the cash flow waterfall mechanism. So
you have introduced something which is not in the report.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the reason why I'm introduced now because we are
But
looking
you
at
don't
ECG.
have that. You don't have that. You don't have that opportunity to introduce it. When we are dealing with ECG, then you can bring these issues there. Yes, please, Vice.
Mr. Speaker, let me help my colleague. VRA produce power and Gridco transmit it to ECG, NEDCO, Power Enclave, and then the mining companies. That is how it's being done. VRA and the IPPs, that's the independent power producers, they produce power. Gridco, his work is just to transmit the power to these entities that I just mentioned. That is how it's being worked.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking at the report here, and they say there should be improvement in debt collection. And with the debt collection, Mr. Speaker, if you realize, even with ECG, they are all implementing only 20% of the energy accounting system they talked about, in just about 20% of the district, operational districts. And remember that if we are talking about two major issues, which is debt collection and transmission efficiency. That means that the bulk part of ECG's debt, if it's being paid, is supposed to be paid by certain companies, then it's very important that those customers are huge, they contribute to the huge part of ECG debt. And we are talking about recapitalization of Gridco to be able to improve on its transmission lines. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst we are looking at aging equipment, it's also very important that we look at where is the money coming from. Because if you get that money, that is when you can apply it through the cash flow waterfall mechanism to be able to make sure you pay back Gridco for it to also be able to improve on their system. So even though this is not ECG's report, it's very important that we are also more concerned because the efficiency of Gridco will be also dependent on how well ECG and NEDCO will also do. That is why I'm saying that in addition to this, don't let us avert our mind off the efficiency of debt collection from these two agencies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I appreciate your understanding of the situation, but I asked that question earlier on. And in this report, the issue of commercial losses doesn't arise. It's only technical losses. That is what they said. Now, the commercial losses, as we are referring to, will come from the ECG. ECG.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I'm not referring to commercial losses. I'm also looking at, it talks about 5.4 is talking about improvement in debt collection. And that is why I'm
debt collection by Gridco?
Yeah, improvement. If you look at the report, what the chairman spoke about, they talk about there's supposed to be improvement in debt collection. So that is why I'm talking about those that owes ECG. Because
anyway, let's move on because there are a lot of other unanswered issues when you are dealing with the energy sector. But because we are not dealing with ECG, we are dealing with Gridco. I want us to restrict ourselves to the Gridco. When we get to ECG, then some of these issues will come up. And that is why I was looking at the issue of the currency fluctuations and their impact on commercial losses. That is why I raised that issue. Anyway, yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, I think the honorable member was just saying that I think the report mentioned the service provider, NEDCO and ECG, being unable to collect their maximum.
That is not the area for this report.
I know, Mr. Speaker.
They just refer to it. But
yes,
it
but,
not
but
be,
Mr. Speaker, but because they refer to it.
No, it's not a subject of debate. Let's move on.
Mr. Speaker, you operated from here and you operated from here. So you know how these things are.
I know.
Yes. So
I know both.
As long as the chairman found a sentence in it, the other member will take advantage and speak to it.
I know, but you realize that they didn't complete their sentence.
Okay.
We just mentioned debt, but they didn't go to the extent of identifying ECG or whatever. They just let it at that. So I don't want us to go too far. But there are a lot of things that I think the House should assist the energy sector to smoothing out, because I have an issue with the tariff structure, and the PURC and others should be brought in. And please, ranking member, you should be listening to me, so that when you meet, you discuss it. The tariff structure in this country is rather upside down, and something that you should get all stakeholders to sit down to understand and to agree. We have to reverse it. We have to reverse it to encourage the industrial sector to grow. We are rather putting too much of the burden on the industrial sector. And we have given so much room for wastage. We should be able to at least sit together and get that one ironed out. I'm aware of it, and I think that it's not working well for the country. We can't keep on accumulating debts and debts and debts and taxing people who don't know that they are being taxed more because they are wasting some things. If their attention was drawn to how to utilize energy or how to utilize water prudently, there will be no need for them to pay that much tax. But their attention is not drawn. And so you can leave your house the whole day and then your air conditioning is on. And so you come and the bill is high because your bill has been so subsidized that you don't even feel the pinch. Or when you go to brush your teeth, you open the tap and it's flowing. You waste all that water. At the end of the day, they give you a bill and you complain because there's that gap which we need to get to our people, and you are the representatives. And so you should sit down and get these things ironed out. If you explain to the people properly, we can conserve a lot, we can reduce a lot of wastage, and then we can better utilize the resources by subsidizing the industrial sector so that they can produce and at cheaper prices. The same consumer will benefit from those cheaper prices. And then we can be competitive internationally instead of what is happening now. Because as you said, when we were young, we were told electricity no get legs. It's what? Cable wire. And there was a company that was producing the cable wire. If we are able to save and invest in that company, they will produce that quality cable wire. And you don't need to import the cable wire again. And so we need to sit down as stakeholders and work this and get the consumers on board. Anyway, with this, I put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Motion number 27.
Mr. Speaker, motion number 54.
54.
Yeah.
Honorable members, motion numbered 54 on the order paper. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the motion that this Honorable House adopts the reports of the Committee on Energy on an annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Tema Oil Refinery for the year 2024. Mr. Speaker, having moved the motion, I so submit your committee's report and request that the Hansa Department will record all whatever we have here as being read, and I will read only the concluding part. Mr. Speaker, the committee is satisfied that the statement has been prepared and presented to Parliament in accordance with the Public Financial Management Act 2016 at 921 and the Audit Committee Guidelines 2023. The committee recommends to the House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Oil Refinery for the year 2024. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion. In seconding the motion, Mr. Speaker, the committee also observed that Petroleum Hub Developmental Authority outsource to a private entity which pay their salaries, and their payroll doesn't go through the normal internal audit validation before payments are being done. So that was in 2024 and 2025. That was what was happening at Petroleum Hub. But they were able to inform us that they've sought that anomaly. So going forward, that will not happen. But we find out that executive instrument has not been issued for the land that they are acquiring at Jomoro for them to start their operations. And then also Ministry of Finance. Mr. Speaker, sorry, Mr. Speaker, because he told me we are going, the next one is Petroleum Hub. Okay. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the Tama Oil Refinery, Mr. Speaker, for quite some time, their audit was not done, but we are happy that when they met us, they were able to inform us that now they've been able to audit all their previous accounts, and then now they are able to start something that's technical and then operational challenges that they were having at their place. They've been able to overcome some of them, and then which now they are starting to start refinery. But I asked them that why don't they get the fuel from, that's the Jubilee field. We have 3 fields that produce oil in this country. Why can't they get oil from there to produce? But recently I've seen it in the dailies that the government has released some of their fuel, some of the oil for them to refine. Because I was on it, that if we have such a big entity being lying down, paying workers every year, and to me, I would say they are doing nothing. Because if you are not getting the petroleum to refine for the country to benefit, then what is your use of lying down there? But I've seen it in the list recently, which means what the question we put to them, they've been able to follow up for a result. So, Mr. Speaker, with TOR, I will urge this House to adopt their report for the year 2024. Thank you.
Yes, please, Honourable Member.
Right, Honourable Speaker. Thank you for the opportunity to support motion number 27. Motion number 54. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Committee examined deficiencies in technical operations. As highlighted in the audit report, the committee observed that several critical equipment and utilities, such as boiler number 8, 6.5 megawatts generator, and key compressors, remained faulty, thereby limiting the capacity of the refinery to operate efficiently. The absence of adequate maintenance planning has contributed to persistent equipment failures. The committee urged management to accelerate maintenance works and adapt structural asset rehabilitation programs, given the strategic importance of this unit in the refinery operations. Mr. Speaker, however, the committee commended the management of the Temari refinery for the efforts being made to sustain the refinery despite significant operational challenges and debt burden confronting the entity. The committee encouraged management to continue pursuing measures aimed at improving operations, performance, and financial sustainability. Mr. Speaker, given that oil refinery is critical to this nation's economy and energy security, helping reduce reliance on foreign markets, the refinery is also significant for Ghana across several critical areas. If the refinery is fully operational, about 45 to 60% of national fuel demand will come from the refinery. On the basis above, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Honourable members, I put the question. Those in favour of the adoption of motion numbered 54 on the order paper say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, the motion is accordingly adopted. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, motion number 17. Page 9, motion number 17.
Yes, we are now back to Petroleum Hub. Honourable members, motion number 17 on the order paper. Chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I move the motion, I want to make a correction that the Audit Committee report is for 2025 and not 2024. And so if it can be corrected on the order paper. That also goes for the actual motion, the procedural 2025 and then the actual motion 2025. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion number 17 on today's order paper, page 9, procedural motion. I so moved.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honourable members, this is a procedural motion. I put the question. Those in favour say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. So we move on to item 18. That's motion number 18. Please, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move motion number 18 on today's order paper, page 9, that this Honourable House adopts the report of the Committee on Energy on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, I submit your committee's report and request that the Hansa Department would record all the pages as being read, as I read only the concluding part. Mr. Speaker, the committee knows the progress made by the corporation in strengthening internal controls, improving accountability, addressing deficiencies identified through audit reviews during the year under review. The committee urges management to sustain efforts at implementing the outstanding recommendations. In view of the foregoing, the committee respectfully recommends to this House to adopt this report on the annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation for the year 2025 in accordance with the standing orders. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, seconder.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, but in doing so, as I was saying earlier, that what we observe on their payment, that they outsource their payment, so it doesn't go through their internal audit validation before payment, because that was what was happening around 2024 and 2025. But they were able to tell us that now they've done the proper thing. Mr. Speaker, as we're speaking now, there's never been an executive instrument on the land that they've acquired. That is one. And then payment of compensation to the landowners is still pending, which they are yet to do. But Mr. Speaker, what Petroleum Hub is intent doing for Ghana is going to be a game changer if we are able to support Petroleum Hub, because Singapore, for instance, has such an entity, but without even producing a single oil, whereby Houston, recently we know about Dangote, is something that is going to help Ghana very well, because they are going to have a refinery enclave, petrochemical industries, which at the end of the day is going to employ not less than about 800,000 workers. But it seems our attitude towards making petroleum have achieved its aim has been slowed. So if, Mr. Speaker, you take it as your baby to see to it that petroleum have achieved what they are intent doing for this nation, that will be a very great thing, and it will be in your name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion number 18 on the other paper. Mr. Speaker, committee observed and recommendations a lot of items line up on the report. Mr. Speaker, failure to take salaries, payroll through internal audit validation before payment. The committee observed that staff salary payment was outsourced to private entity, Ernst Young and Young, and therefore the monthly salaries from August 2024 to January 2025 were not sent to the internal audit department for validation and certification as required by the internal audit agency. Mr. Speaker, management explained that payroll management was outsourced to East and Young Ghana, East and Young, that's into bracket AY, at the time because a full staff complement was not in place at the inception stage of the corporation. Following the audit flagging of the issue, salaries are no longer outsourced, but administered internally. Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that Petroleum Hub strengthen expenditure controls to ensure that all disbursements, including payroll administration, are fully routed through the appropriate internal control mechanism, including internal audit verification. The committee further recommends that management ensures that the corporation accounts department staff have the requisite capacity to handle the roles of the department. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee also saw that lack of insurance coverage by the Petroleum Hub Building Corporation in the Jomoro. The committee observed that the corporation's office building in Jomoro had not been insured against risks such as fire, theft, and natural disaster. Mr. Speaker, in view of this, I urge the House to adopt the committee report. Thank you.
Yes, honourable members, I put the question, and after that, the second deputy speaker will take over because I have to go and attend to another assignment. Those in favor of the adoption of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Second deputy speaker to take the chair.
Yes, leadership.
Mr. Speaker, we have one statement from Mr. Kwame Appiah-Kodua.
Have you finished the report?
Yeah, we have finished with all the reports. So page 4, we have one statement. Mr. Kwame.
Is the honourable member in the chamber?
Speaker.
Yes, yesterday we were looking for you. So now the floor is yours.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker,
Thank you for the opportunity to make a statement on tourism development in Ghana, especially the hidden treasures God has blessed the people of Mfantiakwa North with, and we must endeavor to utilize them adequately. Mr. Speaker, the government of Ghana has been steadily developing the country's tourism sector in an effort to make it one of the most foreign exchange earners for the country and to improve the livelihood of rural communities in the country. The introduction of the 15-year development plan seeks to contribute to the national and local economic development to enhance and impact the tourism development, leading the sector to create enough employment, revenue generation, environmental conservation, national cohesion, overall economic growth. Mr. Speaker, the expansion of the responsibility of the Ghana National Tourism Authority further supported the diversification in the sector. Other milestones have also been achieved through funding from donor agencies, such as the World Bank. With these measures, Ghana has established a clear roadmap to further diversify the sector by expanding its market sources, developing tourism infrastructure, promoting both domestic and regional travel. Mr. Speaker, I wish to draw the attention of the House to the need to unveil our untapped tourist sites and develop them for the broader market, which will be a game changer as far as revenue generation is concerned. Noting that our dependence on donor support to build the country is unsustainable, we must tap into some potential money-making tourist sites across the length and breadth of our country. Mr. Speaker, in 2018, the World Bank signed a $40 million financing agreement with the government of Ghana for the development of the tourism development project, aimed at growing and diversifying Ghana's tourist sector. The first component of the project, valued at $4.5 million, focused on enhancing the ecosystem through industry training, branding, and marketing. The second allocation of $20 million, which was to identify and upgrade promising tourist sites. The third was $10 million, and it was to support business development services and training. The fourth and the final was $5.5 million, and it was for project management, institutional strengthening, and project coordination by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts, and Culture. The contribution of tourism in Ghana to the GDP is something that cannot be overlooked. In fact, it is one of the financial pivots on which our country runs. In 2022 alone, the travel and tourism sector in Ghana contributed to $3.5 billion and $3.6 billion projection for 2023 was achieved. Mr. Speaker, the Mfantiakwa North constituency, of which I am the Member of Parliament, there are a number of these tourist sites which have not been developed. The district is blessed to have the largest rock paradise, that is Adomankuma Fie, where we have rocks naturally carved to look like crocodile, palanquin, and a blackboard, a staircase, and other forms of animals. Mr. Speaker, what makes the place so beautiful is the Afram River, which lies beside the rock paradise, making it a refreshing spot for relaxation.
Unfortunately, this place has not been developed yet. The constituency can also boast of 4 existing waterfalls, which are Trudu Waterfalls, Akrumu 1 waterfall, Akrumu 2 waterfalls, and then Usubin waterfalls. They have also not yet been developed to provide leisure and guarantee revenue for the state. We therefore appeal to government and private sector to invest in those tourist sites in their constituency. Mr. Speaker, aside these waterfalls, the Begro Township offers a unique cultural and traditional heritage sites that can also generate revenue for the state. The town lies in a valley surrounded by mountains and was discovered by a hunter some 530 years ago. The town has an interesting history centered around palm tree discovered by the hunter. We are told that the palm tree had a rich palm nut, a bebegro, which benefited the hunter and his family. Later they grew it in the community. Unfortunately, the offspring of that palm tree are still in the town till date. The township also encountered the Basri missionaries who settled among the people and introduced Christianity to them around 1880. It is said that Begro Township is one of the few towns in modern Ghana to have received the early message about Christ, our Savior. Today, we still have the burial sites of those missionaries, including Reverend Harold Moore, Reverend Lydia Ellis Moore, and others. The burial sites are preserved to date, but we have failed to utilize those places to create sites where tourists can go and reconnect with their religious belief. Mr. Speaker, the Mfantiakwa North constituency, due to its location in a valley, has a unique place on top of the mountain where paragliding activities could be carried out. There is a vast land that can also be given to tourists and creative art ministry and private sector developers for tourist-oriented development activities. When such sites are developed, the assembly can generate revenue, the local businesses can strive to even create jobs for the teeming unemployed youth in their constituency. Mr. Speaker, by this statement, I'm urging the Tourism and Creative Art Ministry, the private sector, to come to Begro in the Mfantiakwa North District in the Eastern region and invest in those tourist sites. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, Kwao is about 30 minutes drive from Begro, making it a complementary destination in the Mfantiakwa North for tourists. I thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, that's a statement from a member on tourist activities in the Mfantiakwa area. Yes, now, yes, Honorable Freche.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and I'd like to commend the Honorable Member for Mfantiakwa North, Honorable Kwame Appiah-Kodua, for the statement ably made on tourism development in his constituency. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't want to politicize or Duman Kumahimfie and the waterfalls in the Fantiakwa North constituency. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the budget that was allocated to the Tourism and Creative Art Ministry in 2025 and also 2026, and how much has been given to them, that is no wonder the honorable member is concerned. Mr. Speaker, the tourism sector alone, if well taken care of, can create so many jobs and can also contribute hugely to the GDP of this economy. Mr. Speaker, you know the service sector's contribution to our economy has been increasing every year on. And as such, it's high time we pay a particular attention to tourism. And if we can do that, Mr. Speaker, then we have to take interest in our heritage and our culture. Our heritage and our natural resources is what we have been given by our forefathers and by God. Ghana is blessed with such sites and such opportunities. So the question I keep asking myself is that if countries like Rwanda can invest so much in their tourism sector and reap off and create so much jobs for its young ones, why aren't we doing same? Mr. Speaker, if you look at the contribution that tourism alone is giving to this country, if we remember the year of return and beyond the return, how well we as a country have focused on it, then it leaves much to be desired. It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that we as a country, we are not putting our money where our mouth is. Because looking at the return on investment that we are getting from the tourism sector and the meager amount that is allocated to them in the budget is not even given to them. The question I ask myself is that we as a country, are we really interested and are we really ready to create the jobs for our young ones? Mr. Speaker, the maker of the statement was specific about 2018 World Bank signed financing agreement with the government of Ghana for the Ghana Tourism Developmental Project. Mr. Speaker, he was also specific about the fact that 4.5 was to focus on enhancing the ecosystem through industry training, branding, and marketing. Mr. Speaker, whilst I'm appreciating the honorable member for this statement, I think it's high time that this August House, this hollow chamber, takes special interest in the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Art. Mr. Speaker, if you are to visit our sites, our museums, cultural center, recently the Committee for Chieftaincy, Culture and Religious Affairs visited Kumasi Cultural Center. Mr. Speaker, it was an eyesore. If you are to visit our museums right now, Mr. Speaker, not much to be desired of. If you are to visit our forts, not much to be desired of. So no wonder that Odumankuma Himfie and waterfalls at Fantiakwa is not being paid attention or given the necessary attention. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to encourage this hollow chamber that we should put more emphasis and we should encourage the government to invest so much and enough in this sector so that we can create more jobs and we can also increase our the economy and create enough so that our young ones will be able to support our national development. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I thank you.
Thank you. Now let's move to Ayawaso East.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. And also want to thank our colleague for generating this insightful statement. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that Ghana has a huge potential when it comes to tourism. But I think that the country is more interested in the traditional income generating areas, the cocoa, the gold, the diamonds, whilst we have a huge potential. Can you imagine that we could only generate 6.2% of our GDP from tourism last year? How? When we have all these huge tourism potentials across this country. A country that celebrates more than 100 festivals in a year. Every community has its festival. But how are we branding those festivals to attract people? Last year, I think we had about 1.3 million arrivals in terms of tourists. But we could generate more. And when we say tourism, we only look at the outside. How are we encouraging people within our own country to move from one place to another? I think that when we were kids, when we were in school, tourism was more attractive than what is happening today. I remember when we were in school, we went on excursions, going to see other places. But today, how many even people move from place to place to look at what is around our own country? People think that when you are going on holidays, you should either be London or Dubai or whatever. When we have very interesting places, like a place I went and I was surprised, we have a nice place like that, like Blue Diamonds, around the central region. And other places that you go to, and they are very interesting places that you don't need to go outside to go and enjoy yourself. When I talk about festivals, look at festivals like the Damba festivals, like the Kwantriukasia and all those things. Even when Abuachiri, where we catch live animals, where in the world do we catch live animals? People go and catch live animals. This is something when it is propagated well, we can attract a lot of people to country. And maybe when we even come to locally, I always want to make reference to Isaiah Sunima. We have the Kashika on the Salah Day.
What is that?
Kashika, shake and dance. They are shaking and dancing and going around. That is Kashika. And when you come to Nima, it's a huge festival.
Is it nice, very attractive?
It's not. We have not been able to list it. It is not something that is even known, but it is something that happens every year. When the chiefs mount their horses, and every tribe, Nima is a multi-tribal area. So every chief and his tribe, the chief will be on his horse, then the tribesmen will dress in their traditional dresses. More than maybe 30, 40 tribes. You see culture at its best. And I always want to encourage people, when they want to enjoy Salah, to come to Nima to see shake and dance. Men and women shaking and dancing and going around. You understand? So it is an interesting thing, and I expect that we should encourage people. We should encourage people to go around, see these things. Go to Abuachiri, see how they catch the life. When you go to Akwetia, you have Denchambua Festival. You see live diamonds dancing around. You see them. These are things we should propagate by ourselves as a country. And I think that when we do that, we increase internal tourism, internal income, we generate more money, we attract more foreigners, and this will increase our this. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. I think shake and dance, when it gets there, you should inform members.
Mr. Speaker, definitely I will throw an open invitation to everybody here.
Wonderful. Yes, Honorable Frank, FEA.
Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity. And then, after such a wonderful delivery by my senior, I only rise to draw attention to the numerous tourist potentials in my constituency. Indeed, whilst doing that, I wish to thank the member for Fantiakwa North.
Honorable members, you see, somebody is advertising his constituency, but everybody is taking it to his or her constituency.
Yes.
Now he's talking about Afajatu.
Speaker, it is only when we do 1 + 1 that we can get 2. And indeed, honestly, Mr. Speaker, tourism is potentials and then contributions to this economy, we all know, from the economic aspects right to the environmental sustainability to job creation and everything. They are so important. Mr. Speaker, I particularly wish to say that if you review some documents, as at 2024, Ghana made about 5 billion Ghana cedis from this particular sector. And then we are patting ourselves at the back. Meanwhile, in the same year, the United States was able to rake in about $3 trillion from this sector. This clearly shows that much as we have reason to celebrate, we still have a lot of room to improve. Mr. Speaker, tourist facilities are in the cities just as they are in the rural setting. And I pray that even as we make conscious effort to develop, especially those in the cities, we must not neglect those at the rural settings. This is because youth unemployment, rural-urban migration is also directly connected to the extent to which we are able to maintain the ecological integrity of our surrounding. Mr. Speaker, it is estimated that close to about 300,000 of our youth migrate each year from the rural setting to the city centers. What it means is that this will have a cascading effect on urban housing, a cascading effect on traffic jam on our road, of course, a cascading effect on unemployment in the cities. And so if we can make conscious efforts, Mr. Speaker, to develop tourist facilities in the rural areas, what it means is we will not have problem with housing. We'll have many of our youth engaged in meaningful sources of livelihood in the hinterlands. We will retain them at the village setting. We will cut down overpopulation in the city centers, and indeed we'll put money right in the pockets of our people and make standard of living extremely appreciable. Mr. Speaker, it is also very important for us to know that even as the House prepares to go on recess, our health is important. Dead people do not have ambition. It is only when we are alive that we can dream of a successful tomorrow. I really want to use this August occasion and important platform to invite your good self, the clerks at table, after such heavy lifting section of a meeting, please, all of you, members of parliament, unite and come to Afajatu. Of course, we have the tallest mountain. We need to hike. We need to climb. We need to burn our fats. Mr. Speaker, we need to ensure that our health is solid, is intact. That is only when we can build this nation. Besides the mountain, we have the Tafi Atome Monkey Sanctuary. You just need to come and discover the wonders of nature. These monkeys, you hardly see a dead one in the forest. When one of their own dies, they perform funerals by themselves. They bury the dead one. You don't see them. Mr. Speaker, these are things that we need to do. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it will also interest you to know that in Afajatu South, we have the snake village, where we sleep with the snake, we dine with the snake, and we do everything with the snake. We welcome you. Mr. Speaker, with this very important opportunity, I just want to say that the House, once again, is welcome to Afajatu South District or constituency. Thank you. I even thought the mic was off.
Honorable members, you see, somebody took the trouble to bring it to this House, the tourist potentials in his constituency. Now it has been taken over to Nima East, to Afajeto. That is the best of it. So we bring statement to a close, and we thank the maker of the statement as well as all those who contributed. I think Honorable Member for Ayawaso East and Honorable Member for Afajeto South, as well as the maker of the statement, I hope you should make members know exactly when the tourist period are ripe for members to actually take part in this. Shake and dance, eh? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much so much. So, Honorable Leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think we've exhausted the business for today. And since we've done under 5 hours, I will pray to move a motion that we adjourn the House.
But have we done the laying?
Yes, Mr.
We did it in my absence.
Yeah. What's that?
We haven't. There's a minister there. There's a minister there. We are going on recess next week.
Tomorrow is the media review, the budget. So
but I thought we could just lay the 7. Once we have a minister, the one we had wanted to do, but there wasn't any minister. Anyway, you are prosecuting government business if you say we
yes.
should.
So, Mr. Speaker, I move the motion that the House adjourn till 12 noon tomorrow. Thank you.
Well.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Leader indicated that tomorrow we will be receiving the Minister responsible for finance on the mid-year review. And I just want you to relate with the Minister responsible of finance that tomorrow what Ghanaians are expecting of him in the statement is to state clearly and pay Ghanaian contractors. Ghanaian contractors have not been paid, they are suffering, there are no money in the system. They expect that the mid-year budget review should capture that. Ghanaians are also expecting that the Akokon Kitinkiti, which have also turned to the guinea fowls that flew previously to Burkina Faso, that Omudi Ayelai soup. Ghanaians expect that the finance minister tomorrow in his statement should be able to tell us about that Akokon Kitinkiti. Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians also are expecting that even though the finance ministry are talking about inflation coming down, but prices of goods and services keep rising at a faster rate. So a clear reconciliation that Ghanaians expect.
Leader, you are called to just second the motion.
Mr. Speaker, in doing so, I just want the Deputy Leader to know what Ghanaians are expecting of the finance minister tomorrow when he presents the statement. Mr. Speaker, the jobs that they promise Ghanaian youth, including NDC youth, is only on paper. The 24-hour economy, Yamutu. The Women's Bank, Yamutu. 133, Yamutu. Paying contractors, Yamutu. And every bit of the promise that you have done, Ghanaians are expecting that the mid-year budget tomorrow should be able to address that. If the finance minister come here to this house tomorrow, we will be observing and be monitoring every line of his statement or his budget. And we beg him, he should not come and ask of any money, because we will not give him any money, because the money that we have given. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, we approved about $1 billion. $1 billion as a loan to the minister. So, Mr. Speaker, I second the motion that we should adjourn till tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon. But they should know that yesterday they borrowed $1 billion in the name of the Ghanaian people, and we expect that you should be able to do so. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, you want to speak?
No. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was just reminding my honorable brother to wait till tomorrow. Save your energy and wait till tomorrow.
Very well. Honorable members, the motion for adjournment has been made and has been graciously seconded by the Deputy Whip. So the question is, all those in favor that this Honorable House adjourn to tomorrow 12 noon, say aye. All those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow 12 noon.